Hi everyone, I'm Amit. Today I want to share about what is Webflow, how to use Webflow and when to use Webflow. I want to share my experience on developing website in Webflow as someone who has done website development for last 13 years. I've used tools like WordPress. I've done website development in manual HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP. I have done Joomla, Drupal, Framer, so many tools. And I want to share my experience on developing website in Webflow and how it's different. What are the good things? What are the bad things about using Webflow for website development from different perspective, from technical perspective, from billing or account perspective, from a user perspective, from a developer perspective. I want to share a general overview of Webflow. So let's get started. So let me start here. So this is a website of Webflow. So in the case of Webflow, it's not an open source tool where you can download a GIF file just like in WordPress or Drupal or Joomla. So you don't get any code, you don't get any files to download so that you can host on your own in your own server. In the case of Webflow, you will have to host in their platform. There are ways to download the files in Webflow, which is more like downloading a GIF file, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and you host the static content somewhere else. But that does not make any sense of building website in Webflow. So basically, in the case of Webflow, it's basically that you will be developing site in their platform. One thing that is always in discussion is what if Webflow collapse? If there's no Webflow, if Webflow just shut down someday, then all your projects are gone. Well, that risk is always there, even if you are using some hosting. If that hosting company collapse overnight, then what would happen? Or if Amazon AWS server collapse, what would happen? So those risks are always there. So, but it's this risk is pretty high, when you use no-code tool in their platform. So that's one thing. One of the disadvantages of using these no-code tools, where you have to host your entire website in their platform. Yeah, so keeping that aside, so let me talk about Webflow. So Webflow is basically a no-code tool. So I personally do not say it's a no-code. I would say less code. You need to know a basic about HTML, CSS. You need to understand margin. You need to understand padding. You need to understand font size. You need to understand color. You need to understand background. So all the basic structure of HTML and CSS, I think without these knowledge, it's quite difficult to understand how the website structure works. So having a basic structure knowledge of website is very important when it comes to using these no-code tools, or specifically Webflow. So not a no-code, or let's say a less code is something that I would define Webflow as. So basically Webflow is a drag and drop platform. Just see the screen. So you can actually build a website in a drag and drop format. So you can just drag images, drag title, drag paragraph, and build the entire website with drag and drop. Not just drag and drop, you have to edit as well. You have to edit their settings, you have to change colors and everything. These all things that you have to do this is something that you can do entirely from this platform. So Webflow, it's a no-code tool, it's a less code tool, drag and drop website development tool. Okay, so let me go on the pricing part of the Webflow. I'm making a separate video about the pricing factor, or let's say from the developer perspective, from the user perspective of using Webflow or Webflow templates, using Webflow as a platform. I'll be making a separate video as well, but let's just give you the overview of the pricing. The pricing of the Webflow development is basically, it says free. What happens is, if you use this free version, you'll be getting a website in their domain, let's say webflow.io. So you'll be basically making the website in their domain. For example, I have made a sample website in Webflow, which is jury.webflow.io. So I will not be able to make jury.com with the free version. Another thing is that you are allowed to make only two of these webflow.io domain. So this is not like unlimited. There are other platforms where they give unlimited domains on their platform domains. But in the case of Webflow, it's just two domains that you can use for free. But when you upgrade to basic, $14 a month. So let me just toggle this to monthly. It's actually $18 a month. But if you pay in a year, it's $14 a month, or multiply by 12. It's that is the pricing. So let me go in a monthly. $18 a month. You'll be able to host a custom domain, which is let's say amitbajracharya.com. So if you have that domain, you can host that with $18 a month, and you can use the entire Webflow facilities. Another is a CMS. So CMS is basically if you need a dynamic contents like blogs, then you'll need a CMS plan of the Webflow. Then other is a business, which is, let's say you have a very high traffic. You'll have CMS and lots of traffic, lots of bandwidth is required. You have lots of multi viewers and those kind of things. Then you'll need to go with a business. As of now, I am using a CMS plan because this is this is good enough for me for my projects or for my clients' projects. Beside that, there's another plan called Workspace plan. This is basically for freelancers, agencies, where you'll be doing you'll be making website for your clients. You'll have a team of people working in your team. So for that, you'll be paying, one is free, definitely again, 2 free sites with a Webflow domain. Another is a core where you can host 10 sites, but you'll be again using a Webflow domain. So I have this core plan. I have a 10 of these unhosted site domain. So I am using jury.webflow.io. I'm using cherry.webflow.io, pilgrims.webflow.io. So I have these domains which I manage in a Webflow platform in their URL, because I sell Webflow templates and I need those. I need this Webflow account, which is a core account for 10 hosted site. My 10 hosted site is already over, so I'm now moving to $49 a month plan, because I plan to release more Webflow templates, and Webflow.io domain is good enough for me. I don't need a full domain. I don't need exactly a corporate domain for all my projects, because I sell templates. So I just use the domain plan, the basic plan for the CMS plan for a few of my website. For most of my other projects, for my templates, I use Webflow.io domain. So that's why I'm using core. I'll be upgrading to growth. So this is for agencies once you have, let's say, a client who wants to who like the website, who like a template, and they want to migrate to their live website, then they'll have to buy the basic or CMS account and host their site in their domain with the template that you have built. So this is basically for agencies. All right, so that's on the pricing side of the Webflow. So now let's get inside the Webflow dashboard. So you'll have to create an account for free. You can create an account for free for sure. So I've already created an account. So let me just log in. So for this video purpose, I'm using a free version of Webflow. So this is how the free version of Webflow dashboard looks like. So I can just host 2 of the website in a free version of the Webflow dashboard. So this workspace, I'll be able to host only 2. So if I try to create a new one, it says that you have reached the limit of 2 unhosted sites on your starter workspace. So I cannot host more than 2 websites. So this is my 2 websites in Webflow. All right, so this is the Webflow dashboard. So let me just show you how the Webflow dashboard works. So this is just a sample. Let me delete all these texts and all these files here. I'm using a free version, so I cannot create a new one. So that's why I'm just trying to delete whatever I've used before. So basically, you'll be using these elements. So section, containers, quick stack, vflex, sflex, div, list, all these elements that you normally use while making website. So you'll be using these elements for building website in Webflow. At the same time, you can use something called layout. Layout is basically a library where you can use the existing libraries to build website. So these are the libraries that Webflow have provided. Let's say if you want to use a navigation, so you'll just click it and you can just drag it here. So your navigation is here. So you just drag whatever there in the library and you'll be able to build a structure of a website using these libraries. Let's say you need a hero section. You like this design, then you just drag it and it's there. And then let's say you need, you like something else. You want to add a theme, it's there. So this is how you actually build website in Webflow by using libraries. One thing that I personally like about Webflow is, let me just publish this and let me just show you how it looks. This is how it looks. If I inspect, this Webflow do not like bloat too many of HTML codes. So this is how the normal HTML structure works. Like you put a section, then a container, and then there's a wrapper, title, paragraph, link. So there's a very good HTML structure being followed by Webflow, which is something that I really miss in other no code or drag and drop platform. They just give like 20 different HTML just to make a hero section. So I personally like this about Webflow. So that's why the site is pretty fast and it follows a proper HTML structure, proper SEO structure. So that's what I really like about Webflow. So yes, so this is what I like. So it follows a really good HTML structure. So this is using libraries. Another thing that I would like to show you is in the library, you'll see this option called Browse More Libraries. If you click this, you'll see lots of libraries that you can use to build website in Webflow. Okay, let me use this one. Conversion flow, install library, and then I pick up where I want to use this library. I'll pick this one, install. All right, so let me open the dashboard again. Okay, I'm not being able to edit because I was using in another tab. Now I can use it. Okay, so let's go to library. So now we can see this conversion flow library. So this has like a pretty clean and better finished elements. So, all right. So if you really like these kind of navigation, then okay, let's say I want this navigation. I'll just drag it. Let's say I like this hero. Yes, I like this hero. Then this is how you can drag it. So your hero is ready. All right, let me scroll down. Okay, I like this as well. All right, so yeah, so this is how you do it. So let's say if I want to move this on top, this is below. Yeah, so it arranges like a folder. and you'll be able to make these kind of website using the libraries. Okay, let's say I like these brand. I can drag and drop wherever I want it, wherever I want to show. Let's say I drag it here. All right. Maybe I just want to drag it below. Yeah. Yeah. So continue. So we can just keep on continuing doing that. So let's say I want a pricing. Let's say I click here. I like pricing. Then I just click it. The pricing's there. All right. So let's publish. Okay. It's published. Let's check it. All right. So you'll be able to build a website with the libraries of Webflow. So these are actually free libraries, which is pretty finished design. Like these are not like a normal wireframe kind of design. These are like a very finished design that you can use of Webflow. Yeah, it's giving a perfect finishing as well. So you can also check the responsive. It's working fine. Right. Right, so this is what you can do with Webflow. By using libraries, you'll be able to complete a full page website, which is libraries. Now let me show you the other parts of Webflow, which is static pages. So let's say I made a website with a home page. So this is what I did. This is the home page. Let's say I want to have an inner pages. So we'll just create another page called About Us. One thing that we always follow is we want to have a consistent header and footer in the throughout the website. So let's say, let me just create one footer section here. Footer. Let's say, this is nice. Let's say I want to add this footer. So the footer is there. Okay, so if I want to create the same footer in the home page and the inside page, one idea is we just use the same. Go to here, pick, drag and drop. This is one way to do it. The disadvantage is if there's some changes in the navigation, you'll have to do it in both of the pages. So rather than that, what we normally do is we create components. You go to the home page, select this, let's say folder, this part, and go and click on the create components. Right click and create components. So now I create this components as header, then go down and then create component as create footer. Right. So if you now go to components, you'll see header and footer. Now let's go to About Us. So here in About Us, I want to use the same header and footer. I will just drag it from the components. We'll go here, pick, drag, the footer is here. We'll go to components again, pick, drag, the footer is here. Now the header footer is same. So it's using the components. So what happens here is, let's say I want to edit the header. You click on the header, and in the green part, you click on this edit component. Let's say I want to change this login to sign up or sign in. It just reflects in both of the pages. So it's the same component being used in both of these pages. So you can do it for multiple pages for sure. So this is how you use components to create header and footer. You can use components to create anything like, let's say in your website, in your homepage, you have logos. You really need this logos in About Us as well. All we do is right bottom click, create components, client logos, create it, and then go to About Us, and it's there. All right, so let me just move it on the top. Right, so now let's create this About Us page as well with just libraries. So let's see if there's anything on about. Nope. Maybe this is something that it's relevant in the about page, about site. So okay, about us, or maybe this section looks pretty. Yeah. So when you drag and drop, you have to be very careful on where to drag these components. So you'll get familiar over time. All these drag and drop. Right. So the about us space is ready as well. So let's say I want to change this menu again because there's no about us. I'll change this part to about us, and home has like, maybe there's a drop down. So let me just delete the drop down in this. Anyways, let's just create this. So what I'm trying to show here is, if I want to link these menu to the about, then you go here, select the pages, about. So now if you click on about, it goes to about page. And if you go to home, again, header. Okay, let me just link this way. Pages, home. Okay. Now let's publish and go back and check. So home, if you click on the home, it goes to home. If you click on about, it goes to about. Go back to home, go back to about. So it's pretty fast, and this is how we link. So this underline everything. This is the CSS part that we can fix because there was no link on the home in the library that we use. Right. So this is just the basic overview of using libraries for Webflow website development. But again, as a designer, if you're a designer, then you definitely want to use your own design rather than using libraries. Another way is to use templates as well, or use your own design. So let me just tell you about Webflow templates. So if you go to Webflow website templates, so here in the template, you'll see a lot of template marketplace. In this template marketplace, you'll be able to see lots of design that template designers have built. So I'm also one of the template designer. I submit my template as well here. So you'll be able to use the templates. Let's say I want to use my template. Let's say I want to use a template called Jurid. So you can like buy it, and then once you buy it, it just comes in your workplace. Yeah, so this is how you can use templates. So if you really like this, then you can preview how the template looks like. Okay, if you think that this is the perfect template for my business, then you can just go here, purchase, and then it just comes to you. Yeah, then you can just edit the content title, and it'll just save your time. So the difference between using a template and a library is just a design components where it's not made particularly for any business domain, while the template is crafted thinking about the business domain. So for example, in the case of Jurid, this template is designed specially for lawyers. So it has used all the pages that is related to the lawyers. So you really don't have to think about the sitemap, think about what are the pages that you need to build. So let's say you want to create a section for practice areas, you want to create a section for attorney's profile. So all these things is already being built by a template designer by doing all the research. So you can just come, download or buy this template and just edit your content, edit your text, photos, and then you're good to go. Yeah, that's what difference between a library and template. So as a business owner, I would suggest to use templates. As a designer, as an agency, yes, library could be an option, as you understand, as for you are developing for a client, you understand what are the pages needed, so you can do that as well. But as an agency and freelancer, you can also use template for your clients. Right, so that's about Webflow templates and libraries. So now let's go to building website in Webflow without using any templates or libraries. So let's just delete it, or let me just go back home, delete my file. So when you delete, you have to type these file details, then only you can delete. All right, it's gone. So let me just create another one. So the way to do it is, when you want to create a new site, the way you can do it is use the blank canvas or use the existing wireframes or design that is being shared by Webflow, or you can definitely, as shared before, you can use these templates by Webflow. So you'll be able to see this. Once you create a site, you'll be able to see all these template list, free templates, e-commerce templates, agency template, all these template options that you can see. But now we are just doing a blank site right now. This site for today. Right, so this is how you create a test site. So let me just walk you through. Let's say you want to build a site with a 2-column. The way to do it is not a site in 2 columns, there's a section by section. So when you're doing a website, nowadays we think on blocks and more of a rows, or let's say box and different section, rather than a 1-column, 2-column, or that kind of thing. That used to be previously header, 2-column website, 3-column website, and then a footer. So those days are gone. So these days we more think in a block, in a more section perspective. So let's see, we first create a section. So I'm just creating not the header part. I'm not creating header right now. We're just creating a section here. And then in a section, there will be a container. So the container can be of 1300 pixel. So this is what a container is. And then inside the container, you can just use all these stacks. Let's say inside the container, I just want a heading. We have the heading. Yeah. And then let's say if I want a paragraph, we just click on the paragraph and the paragraph is there. Yeah. So this is how you create like a site in Webflow with different titles, heading, using this section and container. Let's say you need another section, which is a 2-column. First, all you need to do is go to section, click on containers. Then inside the container, let's say you need a 2-column site, or let's say you need a 3-column. Then inside 3-column, you need a image. We'll just drag it and then put the header, put the paragraph. Right. So this is how you can create a different column. Similarly, you can copy this and replicate this in other columns. And if you want to like change the image, then you can just choose it from here. There's nothing right now. You can just upload whatever is available from your computer. Right. So I just put one image here. So this is what you can do. Now, you might want to use different colors, different fonts. Then you can just play around from the section on the right, go to this part, and then change the fonts. So this is how what we normally do. But as a web designer, we always want to follow the regular HTML and CSS standards. So that's why what normally as a web designer we have to do is we create like a global components first, like a global style first. The way to do it is, let's say we want to change the heading. So we click on the heading, then all H1 headings. So if you want all H1 heading to be Meriwether with 70 pixel, with 74 pixel line height, then 70 pixel line height, then this is how you do it. The other way to do it is we normally use design. Whenever we make website, we follow RAM. So what we do is 70 divided by 116 RAM. So then it'll just give you the value in RAM as well. 70 divided by 16 rem. Right. So this is what we can do in Webflow. So what happens is now you have changed the font and size and line height of all the headings. Let's say, let me just also change the color. Now you can now we can use this H1 wherever you want, and it'll give the same styling. Let's say I use heading here with H1 test. So it gives the same styling. And if I want to change the heading again, then we go here and change it. So let's say if I just want the second heading to be of different color, you go here and change the color. Now what happens is it gives an additional class. So H1 is red. H1 with heading class is blue. Or what I would do is heading blue. So this is how you can change the class name, and you'll just get a different heading for H1. So H1 have different heading now with a class blue. So this is what we do in Webflow. So yeah, this is what it is. This is how we do everything in Webflow. And you can definitely check the Webflow University video, which has like tremendously explained, like really well explained about how to use all these tools. I spent like almost like 1 hour to learn these, and I just learned it right away. And then after that, more advanced feature of Webflow, you can learn from Webflow University or from their YouTube channel. It's really nice. They have like funny way to explain things, and it's quite captivating. And I just enjoy watching all those videos as well. Right? You can definitely do that. But just to give a simple overview, like if you want to use interactions, then you can go to interaction panel. You want to change something on scroll. You want to change something like this, fade. If you want like all these animations, everything, you can do it in Webflow using all these drag and drop components. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, as a web designer, you really don't need to code here, but you need to understand how the classes work, why we need to define global classes. So all these basic HTML, CSS knowledge is very important for Webflow. You really don't have to code, but you need to understand the structure. Right, so this is what I have to explain about the Webflow dashboard. I'll not go with everything. I'll not be able to create website right now with Webflow, but you can definitely check their university video. Now let's get back. Now let me show you about the staging management, or let's say server management. One of the good thing about Webflow is, let's say for example, if I'm using WordPress, I have like a 10 years experience. Maybe it's easier for me. I can buy some hosting, paying $50 to $60 from a hosting company, maybe HostGator or SiteGround or Hostinger. I just buy it. I just install WordPress, and then I do all this process myself. It's easier for me. But for someone who don't understand these installation process or hosting settings, it's quite difficult task. And in Webflow, this part is quite easy. Like you can just create an account, create new, then you'll be able to exactly host a website directly. Now, the example that I'm showing right now is being hosted in Webflow subdomain. If you have a domain, if you want to publish this website in an actual domain, then all you need to do is go and add a custom domain, buy your plan. Let's say you upgrade a plan, and then you connect that domain to your account. Connecting that domain might be quite daunting task. You have to go change the DNS from the hosting. But I think that is something that hosting company provides. The domain registration company provides easily. So if you tell them that this is the setting that I want, then they'll just redirect. So that makes things easier to host a website. You don't have to worry about the server. You don't have to worry about the security. You don't have to worry about your site is being hacked or site is slow, speed, everything, because that is already being taken care by Webflow. I think that is the reason we are paying this $14 or $23. I personally recommend Webflow if you don't want to spend your time in security. Hire people, someone to look after security. Hire someone to do all the server management. That part of expenses is being covered if you use Webflow. That's what I think. That's what I believe. Another is staging management that I really like about Webflow. Whenever you build a website be it WordPress, be it any platform, you really don't want to publish directly in your main website. You want to first publish your website in a staging environment. So that's something that you get it for free in Webflow. In the case of WordPress, you again have to have a knowledge of creating a staging site in a hosting platform or by yourself. You need to have a separate knowledge for that. But Webflow, that is something that I really like. And one of the challenges that WordPress is facing, or WordPress will be facing for sure, is moving content from staging to live. Let's say the website is already live. Someone has already posted some products or some blog. Nowadays, website is being built using Elementor or full site editing or all these no-code platform in WordPress, which creates XML or a JSON file. Now, the staging and live is not synced at all. Like, that is the major part. If you want to change something on the design side, previously it used to be a HTML coding, but now it's more of drag and drop. So moving from staging to live, there is going to be a problem for sure. So that is being covered in Webflow now. It's easy. So you first make all the changes in the dashboard. Check in this Webflow URL. If everything is look good, then you can click on the custom domain, whatever that domain that you've registered, and then only publish. So the staging management is already being covered in Webflow platform. That's something that I really like, and I feel that this can be a game changer, because this feature is definitely difficult to set up for in other platform where you have to do everything manually. You need someone to do DevOps. You need someone to do all the server management, staging management, everything. So this is something with the evolution of no-code world, evolution of drag and drop building, website building. This is going to be a pain in for other platform for sure. So this is already being covered in Webflow. Yeah, that's one of the reasons to use Webflow. Yeah. All right. So other things that you can do in Webflow is you can make e-commerce site as well. So it's pretty easy. You can just enable e-commerce, and then like your e-commerce is ready. In the case of WooCommerce or WordPress, you have to install WooCommerce, do all the settings, setups, installation, everything. It's again another skill that is required. But for the Webflow, this process is much easier. You can just install, and then you'll be able to set up. You'll be able to just add your business information, all this product information, shipping information, everything, and then the page is set up. Like it's quite easy. And then if you want to add some product, you can just directly add product. I'm just adding some sample product for now. Like you can add product, you can have categories. Like this things is quite easy in the case of Webflow. I would rather use Webflow to build e-commerce site than WooCommerce nowadays because it makes things easier. Depending on the scale of e-commerce that I'm building, if I'm not building Amazon, a website like Amazon.com, then it's a different case. If I'm building a website like Amazon.com, then I will not even use WordPress. I would be doing custom code for sure. But yeah, if I'm building a website for a small e-commerce store, a flower shop, or let's say a small businesses, then I would definitely go with Webflow. So you'll get all your subscriptions, all your details from your users, all the purchase details, everything, all the payment, everything is being set up directly in Webflow. Right. Another that Webflow has recently launched is membership as well. So if there's a membership website, you'll be able to build a membership site in Webflow pretty easily. I've not done membership website yet. Basically, I don't have a membership clients yet, so I've not done that for sure. But a membership website where people come and become a member, buy subscription. So all these kind of things can be done easily in Webflow. However, in the case of WordPress or other platform, you have to install plugins, add-ons, and set up everything. That's a different level of skill, different level of pain for sure. Okay, so this is what I want to share about Webflow today. There are many things that I will be sharing for sure. Next, I am working on the script for Webflow templates and WordPress templates, specifically for template users and template developers, for freelancer agencies and the business owner. So how these are different. So I'm making this video. So please subscribe. If there's anything you want to learn more about Webflow or web design, please let me know in the comments, or you can just message me. I'll be sharing more about website development, Webflow. I'll be sharing something about WordPress as well. So please follow me. Please subscribe to this channel. Thank you.